Yeah, Neel, in the last video, you spoke at length about the importance of nutrition, rest, and exercise. But we have not spoken at length at all about the yoga exercise. So I would request you in this particular video to make us know your views on the yoga exercise and how they are have been tackled or explained in the Adhiyoga classes, and how can they help a person to achieve a goal and achieve extreme happiness in life. Yeah. So please kindly help us with more knowledge.
So what happens now is that in the last video, I already mentioned little bit about the yoga exercise. That
That's
yoga exercise is any exercise with the
mhm.
focus of the mind.
That's right.
So any exercise means that exercise a person has to choose based on their goal, because exercise is going to give them a fitness provided they do the rest and nutrition. Now that exercise should be such that they get the fitness they need. Now what we are saying is, if they do that same exercise with a focus of the mind, then that is called yoga exercise in the authentic yoga system. Now what is happening is that currently the terminology yoga is coming from Indian philosophy. Yoga is not a modern terminology. Yoga is coming from Indian philosophy, and that we are not going to explain because that's a philosophy part. But the yoga exercise or yoga asan or yoga pranayam or yoga kriya, etc., all these terminology is coming because in the ancient books all these exercises are mentioned, and later some of them have developed more, little bit, only the form has developed. Now you will find that the real form development is only in terms of the different poses. So instead of doing one pose called cat pose, now it may be dog pose or it may be a horse pose. So they have extended that knowledge of poses, and you will find that some world famous teachers, they have done even extraordinary work like creating supports so that people who have disability can do those poses, like Iyengar ji has done. So those are all praiseworthy. Or some people have developed a vinyasa system where they go on doing one pose after another pose, and it becomes extremely challenging, and it is very interesting, like a choreography. However, in these ones, they have to understand that most of the time mind is not focused. They are only trying to perform that pose, and they are doing sometimes beyond their capacity, and sometimes they are not doing up to their capacity because they are not focusing the mind. So these exercises are not considering health part at all,
Okay.
and nutrition part also, of course. Now what we are doing is we are forming an exercise based upon the past knowledge as well as anatomy, biology, etc., etc. And also there is one more factor, because you brought up this topic of teaching in the past video, that when we teach the exercise, we do it in such a way that a person starts at their level and then they reach to the higher level. Whereas in the some systems like Ashtanga Vinyas, they have a totally wrong statement. Though it is done by a world famous teacher, the statement is totally wrong. There is a different connotation to that statement, which is a correct connotation. But that's not what he's saying. He's saying that practice, 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 and everything will come. So it is like you practice whatever you want, like you practice football and badminton will come. Badminton will not come if you practice football. So yes, whatever he is saying, that if you do that thing, everything will come, means that you will start doing those exercises. Now if you do them too much, you will get injured. That is what will come. So what we are saying is do it properly so that your goal will come, because your goal should come. Otherwise, what is the point? Like suppose you go to the office for making income, and they are saying very good things about you but not giving you income. So what is the point in going to the office? Then your family will be starving. And that is what happened with the Savai Gandharva. He's getting very good reputation, but his family is dead because of the no food. So they had to understand their goal. Like Vida Savarkar, Savarkar gave his life for the country, and his wife and child died due to malnutrition. But he had decided that the freedom of the country is more important than the family. But if he has decided like that, that is different. But if he's doing it because of mistake that he doesn't know what he's doing, then that is stupidity. So what we are saying is that in our exercise, we take the past knowledge, we add more knowledge, and we form the exercise which is correct for that person. And of course, if we have a very large class, we cannot address everybody. So we try to give the small number of students at a time. And then, as you said, if we develop teachers, those teachers can give more students like that, because in one class we cannot address more than 4 or 5 students. Then we need teachers who will be able to teach other 4 or 5 students, because we don't want to exhaust one teacher. There have been some yoga teachers who were so exhausted that they died of the exhaustion. That is not a good thing for a yoga teacher to say, that I died of exhaustion. So one has to understand that this is what we mean by yoga exercise. Now, we also uh, have clearly mentioned what does asana mean, what does yoga asana mean, and what. So all these types of exercises are clearly defined in our system.
Listening to you, I get a feeling that you have been
Yes.
extremely lucky to have been born in the family you were born in, with that kind of a lineage. Extremely lucky to have gone to one of the best engineering institutes in the country, to have done masters there in aeronautical engineering, which is again high tech stuff. Extremely fortunate and lucky to have done a huge tenure of software programming and IT related world in one of the leading technological countries of the world, US. So you have imbibed their thought processes also, along with ancient knowledge and ancient thought processes. So, I get the feeling that when you talk of yoga and when you define an asana or when you define pranayama, your definition is coming from an overall scientific bent of mind along with ancient knowledge. And you are open to further new knowledge. You are open to your students taking your knowledge further ahead, contributing, and you are not concerned about your name being reflected. You have called it an Adhiyoga system. It is not a system named after you personally. Most
Yes.
of the systems you find that the promoter's name, the founder's name is there attached. So there seems to be no ego also. And I again feel what are needed are good teachers.
Yes.
Teachers, the teaching community is where, if you are able to focus upon, if the teachers are able to come, if they see these videos, they will definitely realize the originality of the content, the genuineness of the process, and the ability to deliver what people need today. Everybody is goal oriented today. People want, they have needs, they have wants. And we are using ancient philosophical knowledge to help them achieve material success also. It is just not you're talking about the mental approach, you're just not talking about the spiritual dimension. You have a system which is offering growth multidimensional across various dimensions of a human being. And you are saying pick what you want, and we will tell you how to achieve it, personalized for you, 100% personalized for you. So that ancient knowledge is being sort of streamlined into a very narrow path on which you as an individual can pass and reach the end goals in life and be happy. At least make your life on earth pleasurable in all terms. So I'm really highly impressed by the more I listen to you, the more I think I must also, do this learning from you and and at least have a complete clarity. There is somebody who has worked, who has brought about a merger of scientific thinking and ancient yogic thinking, and as offering a platform, a structured process by which results can be delivered. and it is a time-tested system. It is not talking something which is illogical, something which is unscientific. It is so beautifully structured. So yes, whenever you are willing to open a course up for teachers, I would be interested to join. I'm making a commitment in front of you now on video. I find it is fantastic, absolutely fantastic. Anything more if you would like to
Just
add
to
from
comment,
people?
just to comment on what you said, uh, the first thing is that I got certain base due to my father's blessings. There is no doubt about that, and that is the basic cause of my progress. But he also set up in my mind certain attitudes. For example, sincerity or listening to others, etc. And sometimes what happens is that many Indians, they are very good, but they think that the yoga came from India, so they don't want to read any other books. Or there are some Indian students, they only read their teachers books. Which is quite silly to do, because it is like saying that teacher is god, that if the teacher is god, they don't need to read any book. The teacher should only teach, put their hand on their head, and they should get all the knowledge, like Valmiki got, or like Vyasa got. But they are not like that. They are ordinary people in the otherwise life, like me. So they should respect their teacher, but they should also keep their intelligence not closed. So what they are doing is they are becoming fanatic, so they are close to other knowledge. So you know that you first came to me for Yoga Sutras, and you are reading one book which is 99% wrong. So the thing is that the book is famous doesn't mean that it is correct. Now the thing is, when I went abroad, I got some advantage also, like you said. Especially, I will tell you, there are many things in US I totally hate. For example, I hate Donald Trump. I can tell you directly. But there is something in US which is extremely great. That is why they went to the moon. It's not that they are automatically going. They have done a lot of effort to improve their society. Even their slavery, they have done good effort to bring up the black people up. They had a president who was black. Now what happens is that there are methods of teaching, methods of learning, methods of presentation, all these things. And also I will tell you, this will come later in the last video on spirituality, that I learned about music from one American girl, and that's how I got into it, and I made a part of the authentic. So it is said in Sanskrit that baladapi subhashita, means from a child also you can learn something great. So you should keep your mind open and try to see whether you can make use of that thing for your own life. Now, of course, you should not try to do too much stressful work in learning, because learning doesn't mean reading books only. Learning means that you have to integrate your practice and rest and everything. You have to do it. But one should be open-minded so that they can create it is not that only because India invented yoga, then all others should be totally closed. Whatever is correct, you can take it and try to make good use of it. And this is what I wanted to tell, that all the people should be open. These things are written in my 17 or 18 chapter number 17 or 18, that how a yoga person should study and behave. But that will come in the last video to some extent. So today we covered what the yoga exercise is and how it should be studied and taught, and how it can be spread. That is your contribution, which I had not been doing, and you told me that my father told you this.
Yeah, he comes to me in my dreams. He comes to me when I'm awake and says, "You're not doing your work. You're not going after my son full-fledgedly. This is the system which will work." So I used to tell him, I don't know the system myself. So where will I get the conviction from? You are prodding me, I am prodding him. But see the way I am here in this video. You very well know I've gone through a major surgery, not fully fit to move out of the house also. but somehow I am feeling all energized talking to you, listening to you. I think it is God sent. You have been chosen as a medium to deliver a system, a basic foundation system, because you have spoken at very basic fundamental levels. I have gone through that book. You have spoken at basic fundamental levels. Each fundamental level can be expanded upon, and the whole thing will become a nice bouquet of flowers, which can bring happiness to any person who holds that bouquet in his hand. It's extremely fortunate for me to be asking you these questions on this video, but I'm sure many more people will benefit, and it might bring about a major civilizational change also. The world we are moving into is very fast, very instantaneous, very dynamic, and in that dynamic world, to have fixed goals and to be able to keep your mind stable, sane, and focused on those goals is going to be a challenge in itself. I think your system offers that opportunity to an individual to learn and try and achieve it in a rapidly changing world scenario. So let me thank you at the end of this video for once again a very brilliant work. And yes, teachers need to come forward. Yes, people like me who are connected with the yoga field need to have an open mind, need to at least listen and try and understand as to what you're offering. And if they find it good enough, to accept and adapt to it and start teaching it to more and more people worldwide. So thank you once again from my side.
Okay, so the next video we will go into mental yoga practices and also little bit of summation of the physical yoga practices, and we will try to get into the spirituality.
Okay.
And then in the one last video, that means we'll have two more videos. In the last video we will cover the spiritual aspect completely,
Okay.
with some miscellaneous topics which are required for yoga teacher, student, and also for the which you have covered little bit in your introduction to the social aspects of this system. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.